This idea that we're actually capable of objectively evaluating the merit of another human being. I know we like to believe that we're capable of this. We really do. You'll hear people say it all the time. Well, it's not racism. We just hire the most qualified person. As if somehow there are 310 million Americans and it is capable to rank them from 1 to 310 million and then say, well, you were 167,412. You've got the job, right? Or you were 2,307,000. Sorry, you don't quite make the cut. Or you were 11. Hot damn, we have found the 11th most wonderful human being on the planet for this gig. That isn't rational, but we act as if somehow we can just take people's resumes, take their backgrounds, sit them down in an interview for a few minutes, and then we can be these sort of perfect, receptors of information, whether it's their background or the answers they give us to the questions that we ask, and that we can just filter it out like a computer with no biases whatsoever. And we believe this in part because we want to. It's a lot nicer than to think that we're incredibly flawed and incapable of really being objective. But what the evidence very clearly tells us is that we're not nearly as capable of it as we'd like to believe. So that when we think about jobs and hiring and promotions and evaluation of existing employees in just about any company, this would be true. At any college, in the admissions office, this would be true. At any graduate school, business school, med school, law school, same thing. The notions that often affect who gets hired, who gets promoted, who gets admitted, what the evaluation of the employee is, are affected by, those things are affected by the notion of fit, who does and does not, right? The notion of qualifications, by which we really are talking about formal credentials, not necessarily qualifications, because qualifications can be quite intangible. Credentials are very clear and they're on paper. And some of them are probably quite important, others maybe not so objective, right? But we certainly utilize them. And those are really the two things, there's not three, just fit and credentials. And yet what the research tells us is that the notion of fit is incredibly subjective, more so than just about any other concept perhaps in the workforce, especially in an industrial culture, in an economic culture that is its own sort of universe, right? Which is true of tech, but it's also true of heavy manufacturing in the past. They created cultures, did they not? And the people that were seen as fitting in with that culture, they didn't all look the same. They didn't all have the same story. They didn't all have the same education or background or accent or, religion, but there was a certain continuity. Right? Even with the diversity that existed just in people's lives and family backgrounds, there was still a lot of similarity. There were certain expectations about affect, about dress, about style, about your hobbies, about the things that you would do. And if those things affected who did and didn't get hired, who did and didn't get promoted in the auto industry, for instance, or if it affected who did and didn't get promoted, who didn't get the gig in, forget manufacturing, think about police departments or fire departments, right? Where no doubt the people who were getting hired for most of those jobs were probably qualified for them in some sense. I mean, the fire department was not generally picking people who were incapable of fighting fires, but the idea that they were actually capable of figuring out who were the 20 best firefighting human beings in this community, pretty unlikely. There was all this other intangible stuff happening, and the research tells us that the notion of fit is directly affected and impacted by racial bias, gender bias, class bias, sexual bias, all of those, and a lot of other types too, right? And that we tend to see merit more quickly in someone that reminds us of ourselves.